Santa Tomasina is a remote little village in the mountains above San Juan. Its inhabitants, although a primitive lot, are prideful, stubborn, and occasionally quite crafty.
Viva Santa Tomasina! Viva Santa Tomasina!
Apparently, there's some disagreement about the best way to get there.
Oh, I got a mule. Her name is Sal. 15 miles on the Erica. Now, she's a good old worker car mule and a good old pal. 15 miles on the Erica.
To reach Santa Tomasina, one must have stamina, purpose, and just to be on the safe side, an invitation. Sister Bertrille and I left San Juan armed with all three.
I'm going to assume Sister Bertrille is singing it that badly on purpose, and I'm pretty sure that's a donkey, not a mule, but that doesn't fit the song.
Ooh, your turn to ride.
Oh, that's okay. I'm not tired.
No, you don't understand. I prefer to walk.
Sometimes the obvious is just beyond your grasp. For example, assuming that because there's a saddle there, someone's required to sit on it. You do both have working feet. Granted, only half as many as he has, but they should suffice.
Oh, well. Big welcoming committees embarrass me anyway.
The villagers are gathered around one of their number who's apparently badly hurt.
I'm Sister Bertrille, and this is Sister Jaqueline.
Hello. We're from the convent Santanco in San Juan.
Yes, we were invited here by your head man, Senor Caracol.
Pedro Caracol? You dare to mention that name while my husband, the fool that he is lying on the ground? I spit on Pedro Caracol.
Quiet, woman. Can you not see these are holy sisters?
Sister Jaqueline will see to the injured man while Sister Bertrille tries to figure out why Mr. Caracol fell out of favor so quickly.
The bump on his head will heal without a nurse. But what of Gordo? How can we live without Gordo?
Who's Gordo?
Their pig. It was stolen about an hour ago by Pedro Caracol.
Sister Bertrille leads a weird life. That's well established. But this is weird even for her.
I don't understand. I thought Pedro Caracol was the head of this village. Isn't this Santa Tomasina?
The other sister will remain with Diego. You will come with us.
Now, wait a minute. If we're in the wrong place...
This way, sister.
Stop talking nasty. Can't you see these are holy sisters? We'll kidnap them instead.
The church of the most holy patron of our village, Saint Tomasina.
That answers her questions. How?
I don't know what's going on here, but about 3 weeks ago, a man came to our convent. He said his name was Pedro Caracol, and that he was the head man of the village of Santa Tomasina. And he invited us to spend a week there and tell his people about our convent school.
Now I understand.
Well, goody for you. Do you feel like sharing with the rest of the class?
It is a miracle. Our most holy patron has guided your steps. Sister, if she had not been watching over you, you would now be in a nest of desperate bandidos.
Sister Jaqueline doesn't believe a word of it.
Oh, Sister Bertrille, we met him. Now, did he look like a bandit to you?
Well, he wasn't wearing cross bandoleros, if that's what you mean. But Francisco told me that Pedro and his men have been preying on this village for years.
Well, if Pedro Caracol is a leader of a band of desperados, why did he invite us to spend a week in his village?
Maybe for the gifts we'd bring, or the medical supplies, or the burros, or maybe to hold us for ransom.
As far as we know, they don't have television at the convent, but it's pretty clear Sister Bertrille got plenty of TV drama poured into her head before she became a nun.
Remember that sign down the trail?
Yes.
Well, Francisco told me until this afternoon that sign pointed towards Pedro's village. And Francisco found out about it and switched it just before we got here. It's kind of a running battle they have.
That's not the half of it. Each village claims they're the real Santa Tomasina, and the other group is a bunch of upstarts. And that statue of Saint Tomasina, they're forever stealing that back and forth from each other, too. When you live in a place like this, you make your entertainment however you can. I'm still not sure how the pig fits into it, though.
Only I still don't believe it.
Well, there's one way to find out. I'm going to Pedro Caracol's village.
Sister Bertrille, This may come as a shock to you, but you are a novice at the convent Santango, not a battalion of federales.
But I have one thing the Federales didn't have.
What?
Air power.
Hours later, she's still not back. Sister Jaqueline is getting concerned.
Francisco! Francisco! Where are you?
Sister, you must remain inside. It is not safe outside.
What is it? What's happening? Who's here?
Pedro Caracol and his men. It is a raid.
No, it's not exactly a raid. They've come to take the statue again. And there's still no sign of Sister Bertrille. Once the noise dies down, Sister Jaqueline goes out to take stock.
Senor Diego, how are you feeling? I thought your pig was stolen this afternoon.
Sister, we got him back.
Yes, but there are two of them. Where did he get the other one?
Earlier that day, he slipped into the other village and got Gordo back. Nobody wants to answer her question about the other one. Funny how that works. Instead, they'll distract her with the report that St. Tomasina has been stolen again.
For longer than anyone can remember, St. Tomasina was in this church.
Oh.
She is the symbol of our village, of our spiritual identity.
Oh.
Without her, we are lost.
First, what he said isn't strictly true. She's gone back and forth between the two villages more times than anyone can count. Second, it's a statue. The sisters can help you go into San Juan and commission another one. It's not like that's the actual person. You can still ask her to pray for you without the graven image. The whole thing with statues of the saints and such is something I've never understood. When I'm in the neighborhood, I'll show proper respect. And as I've mentioned before, I used to be in a worship band in a Catholic church. It was one of the most rewarding times of my musical career. They love Jesus, so do I. That makes us family. But I don't pretend to understand all of it. And besides, the village's fortunes are about to undergo a huge change.
Look!
Uh-oh, what are they doing up?
She says, I hope they understand lift versus drag. No, what they understand is that this isn't just some nun. This is St. Tomasina come back in bodily form to lead them against their enemies. Here comes her army.
Diego! You out of step!
They'd better have a saint on their side if they plan to face any actual enemies. Sister Bertrille confirmed that there's something going on here because she found the two signs. When she flew over the other village, everybody was asleep, so she has to take Francisco's word for what goes on there. Sister Jaqueline isn't ready to believe anything about banditos. And if there are banditos, these guys are in big trouble. Although considering the way they salute, they've probably been in big trouble before. The usual convention is you salute open-handed like this if your country or whatever has ever lost a war. You salute the American way if you haven't. The American way is a lie because we lost both Korea and Vietnam, and let's face facts, we lost Afghanistan too. So American soldiers should be saluting like this. I won't digress anymore today, but maybe someday we'll talk about national arrogance. These guys seem to acknowledge that they lost one somewhere along the way. I'm guessing to Gordo and his pal.
Her army is ready for review.
My army? Francisco, what are you talking about?
Tell the beloved saint we have waited too long for this day. For too long have the villains and the bandidos of Pedro Caracol preyed upon our poor village. The blessing. We are ready for the blessing. We shall rise up in our holy armor. We will destroy the army of Pedro Caracol.
Goodbye, St. Tomasina. Hello, Joan of Arc.
Look, I know Gideon beat a whole army with nothing more than clay pots and oil lamps, but my man, you ain't Gideon. And are you sure St. Tomasina approves of war and killing? Best I've been able to find out, Tomasina is a made-up saint, not a real one. So all we know about her is what Francisco tells us. But the vast majority of saints that I'm familiar with were known for their pacifism, not their prowess in battle. And if this girl standing in front of you really is the saint, I can guarantee she's anti-war.
Because the saints are people of peace.
Oh, no, not Saint Tomasina. She is a warrior saint.
So much for that approach.
Sister Bertrille didn't know that. If that doesn't prove she's not Saint Tomasina, nothing will. And in fact, that's correct. Nothing will. His mind is made up, and he doesn't care what kind of facts she'd care to present. They have the saint to lead them, so even if the banditos have guns, they won't prevail.
We are invincible.
I don't know. She's already proven she's not the saint, so if those banditos do have superior weapons, I foresee you guys getting vinced pretty good. Sister Bertrille can't get through to them, so the best thing to do is go back to San Juan and tell the authorities what's happening up here.
Sister!
Juanita, what are you doing here?
Is the beloved saint going to battle? I knew she would.
What battle? Where are the men?
They have gone to attack Pedro Caracol.
They went off without the saint.
Senor Francisco said that what the saint meant was for them to prove themselves worthy of her.
Francisco is one of those guys who has an answer for everything, even when it contradicts the saint's plain language. Sister Jaqueline noticed that all the women were in the church and the men were nowhere to be found, and now they know why.
Well, what does that mean?
I don't know. There was only one here last night. Where is that army?
Men of Santa Tomasina, our beloved saint has come herself to lead us.
Wrong! You've all got to go back before you get hurt.
It's too late. The enemy is upon us.
That's the enemy? The villains that have been preying on your village? The banditos?
See, they are desperate criminals, every one of them.
Funny, Pedro Caracol there says the same thing about you. They'll trade insults for a while, then it's time to get to the bottom of this thing.
Francisco, give us back our nuns.
They are not nuns. This is the Holy Saint Tomasina sent to us by a miracle.
They are nuns from convent Santanco, and they were sent to us. You kidnapped them.
Technically, he's right. When the sisters came to the village, he arranged it so they weren't allowed to leave. That's kidnapping.
Senor Caracol, what's the name of your village?
Santa Tomasina, after the Holy Saint.
Treachery! You have no right to that name. It is ours.
Both villages want to be Santa Tomasina, and both want to possess the statue of the saint and all the rest. For as long as anybody can remember, the obvious solution hasn't occurred to anybody.
Hey, that is what we of Santa Tomasina think of thieves.
That's what we of Santa Tomasina think of liars.
Well, I guess that settles it. They're all nuts. They were at it for a week before anybody came up with an actual bruise. When everyone else saw the bruise, they realized somebody could get hurt doing this, panicked and ran home.
Oh, this is awful. Now stop it!
Oh, it's too late. It would take the wisdom of Solomon to stop them now.
But they're liable to kill each other. Solomon?
I'm not sure how much chance there is that they'll kill each other, but they'll all go home exhausted and claiming victory.
All right, now, everybody at ease. Now, listen to me, will you? I think I have a solution to your problem. Now, You say each of your villages are entitled to the name of Santa Tomasina, right? Yes. And this statue here is the symbol of Santa Tomasina. Yes. All right, there's a simple solution. I'll just slice the statue in half and each of you can have part of her.
That got their attention. She says, each of you wants the statue intact, but neither is willing for the other to have it. So what are you going to do?
We'll put the statue right here as a symbol of eternal peace between, excuse me. Between East Santa Tomasina and between West Santa Tomasina.
Everybody likes the idea, and why didn't one of them think of it before this? Because they were both selfish about a saint. And nobody saw the contradiction in that.
Peace. It's wonderful.
Sister, Pedro Caracol has told us of his visit to your convent. I hope we have not committed blasphemy in thinking you are our beloved saint.
Well, let's just call it a mistake.
It was a whopper, but they'll let it go, and they're pretty sure God will too.
Now, you will come with us to our village and help us to celebrate the eternal peace between our two villages?
No, the sisters will come to our village to celebrate our eternal peace.
Now, Pedro, you're starting up with your old tricks again?
Our old tricks? We did not kidnap the sisters. You did.
The eternal peace lasted almost 30 seconds, not counting commercials.
All right, you guys.
No, sister.
You may go wherever you wish.
Wherever we wish? Where do we wish?
Home.
We can talk about the children in the school another day. Maybe when you're all too drunk to stand and yell at each other.
Men of East Santa Tomasina, we will see the Holy Sisters back to their convent.
It'll never occur to them to join forces and they can both see them back. It'll never occur to them to find a good spot and combine their villages so they can live in harmony. It just goes to show you there are people out there who are so ridiculous even Sister Bertrille can't fix them. But maybe she could rig up a sort of guillotine around the statue and make it sensitive to loud noises. That way, the first time they yell at each other, zonk! That might get their attention. And for just about the first time since she got here, Sister Bertrille didn't need anything from Carlos Ramirez. Carlos said he was happy about it, but in private he admitted he felt a little slighted. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button to let me and YouTube know you want to see more. If you're not subscribed yet, punch me in the mask here and get signed up so you don't miss a thing, because something is always happening here at Irving Zoo. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Unhandle this one, since we... Good grief, really? That's a great start. It's a statue. The sisters can help you... Oh, good grief. Really? The whole thing was statues of the same... Good grief. If that doesn't prove she's not Saint Tomasina, nothing will. Well... Then it's time to get... Oh, good grief. And both want to possess us.